liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers. We are a solution-based ministry here. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you. We don't come on here and talk about the problems only. We bring solutions here. We teach you how to solve the problems in your life. Economically is what we focus on. We also focus on character. Here we focus on business-based generational wealth and also investing to be able to generate generational wealth within our community. So our brothers on this evening to bring knowledge, wisdom, understanding, also to bring motivation and inspiration to the community. Because listen, family, so many times we hear about what men are not doing. Well, guess what? I got a king in the building, opposite of what we say kings are not doing. Not being fathers, that's what he is, a father. Not handling business, that's what our brother does. They broke, he's not that. we're talking about a real estate investor here in the building. You're looking at a king who takes care of his children. He's a proud father. Him and I, we met on the Black Distinguished Gentleman program with brother RJ. So I'm telling you, family, listen, man, make sure you share and invite. It's getting ready to go down on tonight. Listen, we going to change the narrative on tonight. Kuji Chagalia. We define ourselves, speak for ourselves. Okay? We're the one who do that. We write the narrative for us. We tell our story. And that's what this platform is all about. We're going to tell our story on the night. We're going to talk about starting from the bottom. Now we here. That's right, family. We getting ready to get down into it. We're going to talk about the background and how our man got to the top. I'm talking to a veteran here on tonight. I'm telling you, man, it's on. Make sure you share and invite. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that right now. Okay. Also, for those of you who out there, if you're entrepreneurs, please put your information in there, your business in there. Also, make sure you put what city and state you're tuning in from. That'll be great. We would greatly appreciate that. We would love to support you. So please let us know. We're here to highlight businesses as well, because as we always say, nobody can support a business that they don't know about. All right. So we want to advertise your business. All right. So make sure you check us out on Instagram as well. That's Synergetic, as you see on here, Synergetic NG. All right. The acronym NG. All right. Make sure you check us out, family. Make sure you check us out. All right. We get ready to go in right about now. Brother Oscar Mike, how you doing on this evening, King?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, King. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you having me on your show. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it, man. So, listen, like I said, family, in the intro, Brother Mike and I, we had an awesome discussion before him and I went on the platform to help to empower the people. We went on a platform to, again, table solutions to our problems. And when I spoke to this king, he's a very well-spoken brother. This brother carried himself upright. He's a man of light. And I was on Instagram, and I just so happened to see this brother on there with his son. And family, this really impacted me because unfortunately, my father was absent in my life. You know what I'm saying? So when I see a man, an African man, okay, that's intelligent like him, that's upright like him, that carry himself well, that has a passion for the people and who is being an example offline, the same person that's online and he's offline getting things online for his family, it would have been remiss of me to overlook it. I feel like personally, I am dealing with a superstar as well as far as I'm concerned. And that's real talk. I'm championing this king because of the great things that he's doing. This is the way I feel, man. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's a lot of unsung heroes that a lot of us don't know about. And I believe brother Oscar Mike is one of them. I mean, our brother's a veteran. You understand? He gives his knowledge and wisdom in the community. We was on the platform. The brother was giving financial tips, and then I come to find out him and I both, we're from some rough cities. Our brother's from Baltimore. I'm from Rochester, New York, upstate New York. I was born and raised in the city there. At one time, unfortunately, I'm not boasting, there's nothing to be proud of, but we was one of the #1 murder cities in the state.
Baltimore,
and the United States. at one
Yeah.
time, where I lost my friends, and him and I, we talked about that, man. We're going to talk about that, King. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about that, brother. I mean, we know this king right now whose crown is on straight. And family, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is his mind is right. The king's crown, his ori, his mind, it's on straight. So, man, talk to us about, from how you got to the bottom to the top, man. Tell us about your story, King. Talk to us. Who you are, what you do, and just share yourself with us, man.
Well, I mean, if I had to, start from the beginning, I was born in East Baltimore, Maryland. My mother and father was both 16 years old when they had me. I mean, my dad was 15 when I was conceived. My mother was 16. And
Wow.
yeah, so from there, I grew up with very, very young parents. I mean, now I'm 40. I mean, my dad's only 56, so he's more like a brother than a dad. Same thing with my mom, right? So we all pretty much grew up together, I would say. Um, so yeah, I grew up in East Baltimore, very, impoverished area, but I had good family. I really did. I had a good family. I had, my grandmother was always in my life, and she was a social worker, so she really kind of raised me until my mom could take care of me, you know, later on in life. And some of the same things that I saw growing up. I saw my dad he was a drug dealer. My uncles, they were in the drug game. Um, my neighborhood, I grew up around pimps, hustlers,
Hmm.
people that were on drugs. I mean, it's the same quintessential things that we see in all the inner cities, especially growing up in the 80s and 90s. That was very prevalent in those days. Um, us growing up in those types of environments. So I kind of fell into that, hole as well. I started as a kid, I was a
Hmm.
delinquent. I stole, I robbed people,
Wow.
caught a charge when I was 15 years old. I had
Hmm.
a Tech 22, and I was just out of my mind. I didn't really, value myself, life, or anyone else's life for that matter.
Hmm. Wow,
I
that's
was
deep.
a product of my environment, and even growing up, my mother had 5 kids by 5 different men. And although I knew my father, there was times where he wasn't in my life. He was in jail for a couple of years, and like I said, he was in the streets, doing his thing, hustling. So even when I did see him, he was there, but he wasn't there because he was out doing his thing, making his money. And
Hmm.
so, I kind of took that on myself up through my teenage years until eventually landing in the Marine Corps.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, brother.
Five Devil Dog.
Do or die, baby. Yes, indeed, man. So that's very impressive because this gentleman that we know today is certainly not the fella that you had talked to us about all the things that you have done, man. I mean, what really impressed me was as well with yourself is that you had taught your son how to build generational wealth. Your son was out there in a video with you at your real estate property,
Yeah.
and then you was breaking down about how he was going to inherit that property, and you was talking about how you was teaching him that, hey, son, you're going to be an heir to this throne. I'm going to leave these assets to you. Now you went from a dishonest hustle to an honest hustle, man. So talk to us about this transition. Like, what happened? Did you hear something? Did something happen to you? You read something? Talk to us about what transformed your mind.
I think some of the things that transformed my mind, I think it started probably when I was in the Marine Corps, getting around just a different environment of people. I, like you, served in the Marine Corps, and I'm not sure a lot of the commands you were at, but one of the first commands I was at, there weren't a lot of Black people. So we had a tight knit group of people who I used to hang around. And
Man,
luckily
we
for me,
was a hood in Camp Lejeune, brother.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a whole lot of us.
Yeah, yeah. So you was a lot of you guys. So my first unit
We
was
was like
in
the hood in Camp Lejeune, man. I was a 3052, and I was over the supply guys, so it was a whole bunch of us, man.
yeah. So my first unit was in Kaneohe Bay. So I was in Hawaii. There wasn't a lot of us, and I was in a 1-3, lava dogs. And so, we all pretty much stuck together. And luckily for me, there were a lot of brothers there who were positive, who really started to show me a lot of different things. So my first NCO, his name was Michael Tippett. He actually taught me how to save money. He was like, "Look, I want you to set up a bank account that you can't touch. That okay, I want you to set up a bank account that you can't touch or whatever to start saving money." And so that was like my first step, right? Um, And as you know, if you've been in the Marine Corps and you're a knucklehead, they'll soon chase you out of there. So I found, I don't know if the word is refuge, but I found like this sense of family and togetherness with those guys that I met, and I never wanted to really let them down. So over the years, uh, hanging around more NCOs and staff NCOs, guys that I could actually look up to, because where I'm from, most of the guys that I looked up to were people who weren't doing the right thing. I was finally around a group of guys that were doing the right thing. And so it kind of, slowly but surely started to, I started to form different habits, form different opinions, start to see people who look like me who were doing
Mm-hmm.
things that were positive. And
Wow.
I wanted some of that as well.
So it's safe to say then that those gentlemen painted the picture for you. They actually changed your view.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I want to send a shout out to Patrick Alexander. He's the president of the Black Liberation Movement in Coldwater, Mississippi. So I want to send a shout out to my brother. He said the topic alone speaks volumes. He said love, family. So we appreciate that, King. Thank you so much for showing us the love, man. So, let's get to it, man. Like, what specifically was said, what specifically what was done, what were they doing that had you so in awe with their life, man? That pricked your heart, if you will, brought conviction to say, hey, I need to transform, or there's a better way.
Yeah, so I saw guys buying homes. I saw guys saving. I saw guys riding nice cars who, weren't drug dealers. I saw stand-up guys who just wanted to be the masters of their craft. I mean, when I first joined, I just want to get out of I just wanted to get out of Baltimore. But as time went on, and I saw those guys receiving recognition, I saw them, being seen in the higher light. Like I said, where I'm from, the police I go to the corner store and I get jacked up by the police. Okay,
Mm,
like even if I wasn't doing anything, I might just go to buy a bag of potato chips, and if you're just there when the jump out boys jump out, you get rolled up with everyone else. So that
mm,
was like, for me, it was a different environment. And when I got out of Baltimore and I was around these people, and I saw how life could be better for me, I knew I never wanted to go back. I knew I never wanted to go back to that life. I wanted to be more like those individuals than the individuals that I grew up with or the people that I was around previous to leaving to Baltimore to go to the Marine Corps.
hmm. So it's safe to say then that you're very familiar with what poverty looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I told you my mother, had 5 kids by 5 different men. There was times in my life where I was homeless. I mean, it was times where I lived in homeless shelters. I lived in a battered woman shelter. I mean, there was times in my life where the only toys I had was a hula hoop and an alarm clock. I used to listen to 103 Jams, Big Tigger back in the day.
What big ticket?
Yeah,
What you know about that?
yeah, man, on an alarm clock or whatever. And
Yes,
really, I didn't
indeed.
really know I was poor. It was just the way I was living. It was just a way of life. I mean, I had people in my family, who I knew were doing, better, but they weren't doing that much better. They were
Hmm.
just slightly above where we were at.
Hmm.
So it just is what it is. It just was what it was.
Yes, indeed, man. So what sparked that hunger in you to say there has to be more? Like I know that I mean, because you're an officer in the military now.
Yeah.
You know, I know life is good. I know the officers really made that money, boy. That's why a lot of brothers don't want to be enlisted. Yeah, I know a lot of brothers abandoned their enlistedship to get on the officership. So what really happened that really sparked that desire in you in the entrepreneurship and to pursue financial stability, i.e. wealth?
So, yeah, being in the military now, over 20 years, it's afforded me, a lot of luxuries or whatever. But like,
any job, if I had to be 100% honest, I wanted more. There's times when, this thing that I do can, be taken away from me. So I know that I can't pass my rank down to my kids. Okay. Let's be honest.
All right.
So, one day I woke up and I was like, I need to build something more. People have told me multiple times, hey, you should be a motivational speaker. You got a story. People,
Oh yeah,
listen
that
to
you
you.
do.
You always are able to control an audience, but I never really, thought about doing anything. But one day, things weren't going well for me at work. And I decided, I was like, you know what? I need to build something for my family. Like, no matter what, I can't, although I'm going to receive a retirement, I can't pass this down to my children. So I
Mm,
decided, I was
mm,
like, it's been years that I wanted to get back into real estate. I tried real estate once when I was 26. I tried
mhm.
real estate when I got out the Marine Corps.
Oh,
And
so
yeah,
so so you didn't so even though there was a gap, it didn't work the first time. You had enough confidence to try it again.
I did, man. So, I mean,
Oh
literally the
man, we
first
got to
time,
talk about that. We got to talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah, the first time I jumped off the porch and I, I was doing real estate. I bought a house north of Baltimore or whatever. And I love that house, man. I loved it, especially as your first property or whatever. And after the economy crashed, I was working for Target. I was an executive of logistics working for Target. And when Target stock crashed and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get promoted and things like that, I wasn't able to make my mortgage. So I ended up
Hmm.
having to do a deed in lieu of foreclosure. I had another house that my grandmother had left to me and my aunt, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And I didn't know I didn't have all the information that I have now to know how to refi the property, be able to keep the property up, pay the back taxes, all those types of things. So I ended up selling it, man. It's one of the biggest regrets of my life because what ends up happening is when you sell grandma's house, you sell away your family's wealth. You sell away your generational wealth. And so I had those things, happen to me. And so for years, I decided not to get back into the real estate game. It wasn't until, a couple years back where I was telling you about the story from, work, and I woke up and I was like, you know what, I want to build something for my kids and I want to build something for myself as well. God has said, you know what, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to
Hmm.
do it. Sometimes in life, the only reason has to be is this because you want to. You got to
Hmm.
really want it, right? And you
Hmm.
got to just be willing to jump off the porch and just go and do it. And
Hmm.
I always tell people you need to put a plan together, but even more than a plan, you need massive action. And sometimes, you might not know how to swim, but if you jump in the deep end and you want to live, you'll learn how to tread water. You'll
No
figure it
doubt.
out.
No doubt. No doubt, man. So what I'm hearing is a man that didn't use his past as a crutch. I'm what I'm hearing is a man who didn't have a pity party about his background. I'm hearing a man that didn't say, "Well, I can't be successful because," you know, brother, talk to us about how did you get into this mindset? Because as you know, it's so many of our people that look at brothers like you and I, brothers and sisters like you and I, you know, and they have all these excuses. Well, look at the zip code I live in. Look at the environment that I live in. Talk to us about that, King. How can they be in the midst of all that and not partake of that?
So I think that you really have to so my dad gave me great information growing up, right? He would say surround yourself around positive people, surround yourself around people who know more than you. Um, when I started surrounding myself with
Just bear with them 1 minute, family. Having a little technical difficulties. Please stand by until it clears. This is not a test, but we're going to work with the technical difficulties. So please stand by, hold on for our brother to come back.
surrounding myself with more, positive people started to have influence on me. So if you want to get into real estate, you need to be around people who are real estate. You need to get yourself a mentor, whether it's someone that you know, someone you seek out, someone you pay, someone who's already been through the things that you want to do. And so the first thing I did was I started educating myself. I started reading books. I got my credit together. I started hanging around other people who knew a little bit more about real estate. I started watching every real estate YouTube video you can watch, every motivational video you can watch. You know, anybody who I could talk to about motivation or real estate, the two things that I was interested in, I surrounded myself by those people, and I studied those who've
Wow.
done it before and who's done it well.
Okay, so it's safe to say then that bad company corrupt good manners. So in a multitude of wise counselors, there's safety, because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that you got accurate information, because as we all know that some people have information, but it's the wrong information, which makes them misinformed, which causes them to miss the mark, right? So it sounds like to me that you actually had people who knew what they were talking about. You seen the fruit.
Yep, and absolutely. You know, and it's crazy too, right? Because, you know, during your journey, right, there's going to be people who you love who are going to tell you possibly something different, right? People who love you and they want the best for you, right? But they'll put their limitations on you. So my Uncle Tut, if you're watching this, you know, a couple years back, I said I was going to be a real estate investor, and he told me, he's like, oh, maybe you might want to wait or whatever until this point in your life, and you go and you do it. And I tell people, don't wait, right? Don't wait. Put something in motion. He meant the best telling me that information, but I didn't follow it because I knew in my heart what I wanted to do. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I knew I wanted it.
Man, I like that, man. So you follow your life path. You followed your inner voice. You followed your consciousness, your heart. That's what you follow.
Absolutely.
You know, now, how did you train yourself? Because that's mental fitness, right? That's mental toughness, man. Because as you know, even though we're adults, even some of us, we fold. We fold the peer pressure, man.
Yes.
So tell us, how did you train your mind to get to that point, man? What did you do to help you to get to that mental strength to where it's like, okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna do what I need to do anyway?
So I think it's a couple of layers. One, you know, being the oldest of 5 children on my mom's side and my dad's side, both of them have 5 kids, right? So being the oldest of all of that, you got to be pretty tough, right? Because you're the one that's always left out. You're the one that always has to figure it out on their own. Like, my dad didn't pay for me to go to college or, you know, get me a car, but he did it, you know, for my younger siblings, you know. So I was always the person who had to be, you know, a little more mentally fit. I think going to the Marine Corps really steered me on the right path, and it makes you mentally fit. You graduate Marine Corps boot camp, and you're able to get through all the things that the Marine Corps throws at you. That's another level of discipline. And then as a man, when I started to self-educate, that took me to another level. I never really read much when I was in school and high school, but when I actually got to college and even beyond, I started to, you know, read more, you know, a couple books a month. And or like, you know, now you don't even have to read as much. You can listen to podcasts, you can watch YouTube, but just me personally, just being constantly, you know, thirsty or having that thirst, I would say, for knowledge. It just continues. The more information you get, at least for me, the more confident I get and the more headstrong I become, if that makes sense.
Definitely, that makes a whole lot of sense. You know, and I like the fact, man, that your story is laced with yes, we can. That's what I continuously keep hearing. I keep continuously hearing in my mind that your gender, your ethnicity, your zip code, even if you come from a dysfunctional family, doesn't mean that your life has to be dysfunctional, man. This is what I'm hearing from you.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, you know, going to the Marine Corps, I failed the ASVAB the first time. I barely passed it the second time. The first time I failed it, I think the score to get in was like a 33 or 34. I got like a 30. And the second time I took it, I got a 39. So I went in open contract. You know, I went in open contract. And then, when I got to my first command, I was like, hey, Gunny, I want to go to school. And he was like, well, as long as it doesn't interfere with the Marine Corps, you can do what you need to do. So I
I
started
remember those times. The
Yeah.
Marine Corps wanted you to have a wife there to issue you one,
Yeah,
right?
the issues you want, right? Your duffel bag, right? Your duffel bag.
Man,
But,
I'm
yeah,
telling you. So
yeah.
the audience is talking out here, man. Sakat, he said, peace, Alafia, eBay. For those who don't know, that's Yoruba. Alafia means good health to you. eBay is family. So Alafia, eBay, right back at you, man. Queen Mother Jacqueline said, she said, excellent information, brother. So, they blowing it up out there. The Queen put the business out there. She put a shout out there. So for those who don't know, you want to check out our Kevin Lifestyle. We provide African men and women's clothing, women accessories, health and beauty products for your needs. So Queen, thank you so much for giving us that drop. Hey family, only a crazy frog won't praise his own pun. That's all I got to say. So back from the commercial break, let's keep talking, King. Let's talk about what do you see, man, are some problems in the community, and if you would please incorporate an answer that you really feel like, brother, that is something that really stands out to you, that you really want to solve like right now.
Yeah, so I think one of the problems that there's from our community, right, previous to right now, and I'll get to it in a second, was that like a lack of knowledge, right? A lack of knowledge and access to information. But the internet is the great equalizer right now. We see so many Black businesses and so many Black entrepreneurs starting to sprout up. We have to take back our communities. We have to keep the Black dollar Black. Like, so where I grew up, East Baltimore, it was mostly Koreans or Arabs who owned the stores. There was no one who looked like me who owned a store, but yet I was spending all my money and my food stamps at that store. You know what I mean? We got to get back to owning our own businesses and owning our own communities and building our own communities. That same place where I told you I sold my grandmother's house for pennies on the dollar. Now the value of that home is quadrupled, and people who live there don't even look like me or you. So I think that we need more of us to get the information, learn how to, get your credit together, leverage your credit, and come back and build your neighborhoods instead of just, always moving to the suburbs. We can build up our own neighborhoods, okay, and provide for ourselves instead of always looking for someone else to give us a handout.
Wow. You said a whole lot right there, man. I would love the caveat on what you said. What I'm hearing here is, from what you said, is mindset. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing mindset. I'm hearing that the answer to our problem is having a family-oriented mindset, understanding cooperative economics, right?
Yeah.
Because this is something that we talk about a lot in our community, but it's more so complaining than it really is, actually saying, hey family, if we would just do this, then we can have this, like you so eloquently just stated. But some people, it seemed like, man, from what I gather sometimes, in some cases, it's like this not Robin Hood, but little red, the little red hen. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want us to do all the work, while they sit back, and then, hey, wealthy African brother and sister, help a brother and sister out, type thing. Hey, you want to come to this class? No, I'm good. I don't have no time for that. Hey, the program is coming out at this time and this time. I got this and that to do. You understand what I'm saying? See, the only problem I have is with the twirling and thumbs African people. I understand our position, and yes, we need to pour back into the community. I totally agree that I do it. My family and I, we do that.
Right.
But what I do notice is sometimes some people priorities are not in the right place, and they want to start blaming somebody else for why they're in the situation they're in.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Another
thing, if we're gonna talk real, because this is what we do, bro. So let's put that on the table too, because hey, Hey, my wife and I, man, we both from the hood. We both had to grind to get to the top. It wasn't easy for us either, and we didn't kiss nobody but, you know what I'm saying, to get where we at. And I think that is, you know, a misconception too. Oh, they just had to sell out. They had to brown nose, the Eurasian to get where they are. We didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My wife invested. You understand what I'm saying? My wife invested. I invested. You know, we budgeted our money. We had a goal. We set it. We said, hey, look, our family is not going to be a part of this poverty society. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, I never seen myself as an old person working at Walmart as a senior citizen.
No, we don't do that. Nothing wrong with working at Walmart, but that is not my goal.
Nah. You know that, see, I like that. You just talked about goal. Like what is the goal? Like, you know what I'm saying? People say what they don't want, but then the question is, how do you avoid what you're saying that you don't want?
Well, you got to put a plan together. And so, like you said, people make, excuses. People want instant gratification, right? So look at the content we consume, you know what I mean, in our culture. Okay. We consume a lot of ghetto content. I would hate to, for lack of a better term, right? So listen to the music, look at the music we listen to, look at the television shows that we watch, right? And those kids who constantly consume that type of content, when they grow up, they kind of still want to live like that, right? So you want to look like you have money, but not have money. You don't want to budget. So for me, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I was literally a couple of days away from bankruptcy. My aunt, if she's watching, Mickey, I love you. She knows the struggles I went through. Literally, almost went through bankruptcy. I lost one of my houses, like I told you about. I was about $200,000 in debt. So I literally put a plan together to pay off some of my debt. I read a book called Debt Solutions. I did D in lieu of foreclosure for the house. I ended up doing some settlements with some of the credit card companies, things like that. And I put a plan together to get my credit, turned around or whatever. But during those years, it took me 4 years, but during those years, I didn't take a vacation. I didn't buy any cars. I wore the same clothes all the time. I lived in a small 2-bedroom apartment that had mice in it. Okay? And I'm not telling you to live somewhere where it has mice, but that's just how I had to live for a couple of years or whatever. And at the end of that 4 years, I had enough money to pay off all my debt, buy car cash, and move into a brand new home, new construction home. But I had to sacrifice like discipline. Yeah, I had to be disciplined.
That sounds like discipline. That sounds like somebody who's seen a problem, acknowledged the problem, and then used the remedy to solve his ailment.
Exactly.
Of lack.
Exactly.
So let's see what we got going on here on the audience out there. Queen Jacqueline, she said, excellent information. She said, keep the black dollar. Yeah, that's Queen. That's Queen Mother right there. Queen Mother Jacqueline, very wise. And family also, for those of you who are here, she does teaching on the stock market.
Oh, nice.
So she has a class coming up, so check her out. You know what I'm saying? Her name is right there. Make sure you check her out. She have a class coming up. And see, this is what I'm saying. See, I'm glad she's here. And I'm glad you're here. Because you're a real estate investor. So you obviously know how to build wealth. So right now, you're dropping some nuggets, King, to where if anybody watched this program, and I want you to share with us some investment tips too, before you get off. You know what I'm saying? Because people are without excuse today. There is a plethora of information out there. The question is, you only seek after what you desire. So if you say that you're tired of being broke, then I would like to think that you would like to seek out information to be able to quench your prosperous thirst that you have. But I personally, brother Oscar Mike, I personally think that some people, they talk about it, but they really don't want to be about it.
They really don't want it, man.
Because you said you had to discipline yourself and that sounds kind of painful to a person who want it now. So as an investor, drop some nuggets on us, man. Talk about how important that is, to have discipline and also to be savvy to what is a asset, versus a liability. Come on, King. Let's turn the gears real quick for him, man. Let's drop it on him tonight.
All right.
Let's give him some of that financial knowledge tonight, man.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna break it down real easy for you. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take money out. Okay. So for me, so the things assets I invest in are real estate, stocks, precious metals. For the most part, real estate, stocks, and precious metals. I go pretty hard on those three personally. And so for me, I'm a net worth portfolio type guy. Like I'm going to leave a nice portfolio, for my children. Also, I'm gonna be able to eat a little bit from the tree, a little bit of the children. I'm gonna be able to eat. Even
you gotta taste to see that it's good, right?
Yeah, I gotta taste it, make sure it's good. So when you're setting out to establish a business, I talked about it before, right? Obtaining the knowledge. Read every book you can. Find a mentor. And when you talked about discipline, so for me, starting my business, it took me about 3 or so years to start saving up like down payments for real estate for my first couple of properties. My first property, I actually bought cash. I bought cash.
Wow! Congratulations, man.
$67,000. It was like $67,000 cash. And then I got another. Yep, and I got another property, like right down the street from it for just about the same, or whatever. But I got a loan on that one. So most of the time.
So now we got one free and clear, and now we got one on the mortgage.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
okay, cool. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So got one on the mortgage, got one free and clear. So at that point, I got to three. I had three rentals at that point because I had another rental from a house that I used to live in before, and then I ended up renting it out when I moved away or whatever. But let's talk about the discipline part, right? So you want to start your business, you have to find a way to get the money. All right, and I'm gonna drop a couple nuggets on you. This is what you do. 1, you can save up the money. 2, you can borrow the money. Or 3, you can find a way to use leverage. And when I say leverage, I mean credit or other people's money. If going into real estate investments, that's if you have no money, you can actually get into real estate. I mean, you and I talked about this before about a syndication deal. A syndication deal is where as though I find the deal and I might not have all the money for the down payment or to get into the deal, but I have the knowledge and I have the deal. So I'll call you or I'll call brother RJ or brother Stu and I'll ask you guys, do you guys want to invest in said deal? And I'll take a percentage. So I might only have a 30% stake and you guys can share the other 70%. So even though I don't have the money, as long as if I have the knowledge to syndicate the deal, I can get paid off of that. And I can have a nice, for you using my knowledge. Okay.
So it sounds like we need the right people in our circle because see, you got to have to be able to give. So it sounds like the meeting we're talking about now, our network is our net worth then.
Absolutely. If you hang around 5 broke people, you'll be the 6th.
Well, there we go. So and this is what I'm saying about when I was talking about earlier is that people have to seek after the information and apply that information. You know what I'm saying? Because see, first of all, if we just give them money, they'll go broke. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and what you just said, because you just homed in on that word, discipline. So they don't have the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, or the discipline. Neither do they have the circle to be able to help them to level up.
Exactly.
Because I always say this, one broke person plus another broke person equals broke. You understand? And then that's called cooperative brokenness.
Yeah. Right? We don't do that.
Nah, man.
We don't do that.
So, and this is what I'm saying, bro. Because see, you dropping some jewels right now. So I'm wondering who out there is going to apply what you just said? Who out there is going to learn about JVs, which is joint ventures? Because of those you don't know in the real estate arena, because my queen and I, we're real estate investor. We own a real estate investment business, Synergetic Property Solutions LLC. And so for what my brother's talking about is joint. That meaning that we come together. So it sound good, family. All this stuff sound good, but if everybody's credit is jacked up, okay, I hear what he's saying, but there's going to be some deals where, depending on who you're dealing with, if you're going to use other people's money, some of these hard money lenders do look at your credibility.
Yep, absolutely.
Some of them do. Some of them now don't just look at just the deal, like what you bringing them. Okay, they're going to look at your credit too in some cases. So you don't want to just bank on, well, hey, I don't have to. Nah, it should be, that should be a goal for you.
People are going to vet you, especially when you're first getting into the business and you don't have a lot of, deals underneath you. Even hard money lenders, they want to know how many deals have you done in the last 12 months, the last 24 months? How did those deals, turn out? Or they might look at your personal credit. Since we're on credit, that's, like I said, that's one of the first things you need to do. You can use your personal credit and leverage that for your business to be able to get business credit, to be able to, come up with money. So, for example, if you got a FHA loan, you get your credit together, you can, get an FHA loan, get yourself a duplex, or even up to a 4-unit with only 3.5% down. But you have to have your credit straight to even, be able to get an FHA loan, right?
So let's break that down for those who may not know what an FHA is. What is that acronym for those who don't know?
Federal Housing Authority or Federal Housing Administration loan.
All right. Yeah, we just want to break it down. I don't want to assume people know these various jargons that we utilize. So I want people to be able to comprehend and be able to take it back and use it. And if you didn't, family, that's why you're supposed to go back and research anyway. Right. That's another thing, man.
Google FHA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Some of us, we intellectually lazy, bro.
Yep, that is a wealth building tool that we could use, that a lot of people already use in our community, that we should be using even more.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. And those who are veterans, you want to take advantage of, getting that VA loan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, actually, that enabled my queen and I to be able to purchase our home. And I'm not boasting. We've been blessed, to be able to, no money down, no closing costs. You know what I'm saying? Because of me being a veteran. That's doggone near unheard of.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So now we're talking about then, King. So what I'm hearing is that we need some wealth building strategies. It sounded like what I'm gathering from you is our answer to stop our lack, the financial lack in the community, is accurate economic information and the implementation of that information that's going to bring transformation. Is that right?
Yes. Okay. And another thing that it's going to take, right, is guys like you and I, right? So I started my real estate business, does well. My mentorship business wasn't doing so well. So I started it. I was charging people. A lot of people, they lack the discipline when you're a motivational speaker, or you become their coach or life coach. So one of the things that I've started doing is I started taking people, and instead of me charging them, what I do is make them my partners. So I build them up so that we can become partners to go into deals together or go into business together.
Wow. So now we're talking about another answer then to the community then is actually gaining the knowledge and sharing that knowledge, of mentoring. So that's another answer, because that means that there's a lack, and then the mentoring is the need, because they don't have someone that's there that they can actually inquire about this information. So now, what do you say to somebody who don't have someone physically to talk to? Like, hey, man, I don't have nobody in my circle. So what do I do?
You have to seek them out. I mean, you got Instagram, you got YouTube, you got Facebook. You have to go to Go to those real estate meetups. There's a plethora of information there. They have
Yes.
virtual meetups. They have virtual meetups now. So I'm in about 10 real estate Facebook groups, and I hit people up all the time. People I don't even know, and they answer my questions. People who've never even met me, seen me before. I don't even have a profile picture up on my Facebook page, and they'll answer my questions, and we'll start to go back and forth. You know, we talk about mentoring, and the direction that I'm going is now I find, you know, credible individuals, like, for example, me and a student scholar or a student great. You know, him and we're talking about going in on an apartment building sometime next year, right?
All
So
right.
I've mentored him. You know, we've known each other for years, almost close to 20 years, I'm guessing now. And I've mentored him throughout the years. Now he's in a position where he can make a move, and he's like, "Hey, I'm ready to make a move. Mentor me into us getting an apartment building." I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm all for it." You know, because I love to see my brothers do well, and it just strengthens the whole community. Now I can give him that knowledge because I've been.
Wow. So okay. So now, you know, before we dive into that, let's go out here real quick, and now I'm gonna jump back onto that. Queen Mother Jacqueline, she said, generational legacy portfolio. King RJ, he said, anything that decreases in value is a liability. It look like somebody paying attention in class.
Oh yeah.
Good brother, insurance agent. He was on our program, family. For those who don't know, we did a program on Monday. You want to check out brother KC Merchant out. He is a certified, licensed, insurance agent. He'll teach you some financial strategies where you can utilize for insurance, so that way you don't have to have a GoFundMe, because a GoFundMe, family, is not a generational wealth building vehicle for your family. Okay, that is not generational wealth from a GoFundMe. You know why? Because it only funds the funeral. That's it. It does not pay off the house if you have money left over on your home. Okay, it does not pay off any debts that you may still have while you're here. Okay, and your children can't inherit that account. You understand? They can't inherit a GoFundMe account. All right. So anyway, going back out here, we have brother RJ. He said, jewels to live by: knowledge, circle, and discipline. Our brother says, spend too little money to go to meetups, join clubs, tune into live shows like these. Hey, all praises be, my brother. We appreciate that love, King. Thank you so much, because that's what we focus on. Brother KC Merchant, he said, greatness comes through applied knowledge. Family, thank you so much for your interaction out there. For those of you who have some information that you believe will be empowering to the people, please, this is a dialogue. This is not a monologue. So, you know, we're not going to be doing the talking all night. All right. We want to hear what you got to say too. You know, you family, this is a family discussion. So that's what we're going to do. So brother Terrence Gilbert, he said, we cannot be afraid to share information with one another. Our success depends on how well we build each other. Wow. This is how ethnic groups outside us succeed. Whoo, man. Hey, bro, we can drop the mic right there, bro. Brother Oscar Mike, I mean, what you say? We could drop the mic on that, man. So let's go ahead on and keep blazing these trails, King. What you got for us? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Say it again.
Okay, sure. Let's go ahead and blaze the trail, man. So what else you got for us? Let's pick up where we left off at, if you can recall.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my earbuds must have went out. One more time. I'm sorry.
Sure. Let's pick back up where we left off at.
Okay. As far as, you know, building businesses.
There you go.
Yeah. So I think that, you know, we need, one of the things that we can do to strengthen the community again is building our own businesses, taking charge of our own finances. There are a lot of things that we already use that we buy from people who don't look like us. So, you know, for example, I talked about the corner stores in my neighborhood. You know, we talk about lawn services, and we have to create our own network. So for me and my real estate business, I have a network of people who look like us, who do all the things I need. Like my real estate agent, You know what I mean? My insurance agent, the people who I have do a lot of work for me, the guy that does my floors, the guy that's gonna do rehabs for me. I'm keeping our dollar with us. I'm
Yes.
creating
Yes, we
jobs
have one too.
for
We have a
people.
contractor too that look like us, man.
Yep.
And
Yep.
also our lawn man, our painters. You know
Yep.
what I'm
My
saying?
painters.
Absolutely for our investment properties that we have, man, that we own free and clear as well too, family. So you heard what brother Oscar Mike said. He said free and clear. Now I want you to hear two brothers who look like you, who both come from the hood, have properties that they have legitimately, not boasting. We have legitimately free and clear. We have the deed. We control that. It
Yep.
belongs to us. It's ours. Right?
Absolutely.
Which means that we
Absolutely.
can put inside of that property whoever we want.
Absolutely.
Right?
And the fact that we own them free and clear, we have more leverage. Anytime that you need money, you can borrow against said property. You could do a cash out refi. You could take a HELOC. And when you get that money, you don't take it and go buy a brand new car. What you do is you use it to scale, is what we call in the business scale up. You go buy
Yeah.
more real estate. You go buy
Go ahead,
more
bro.
assets.
Go ahead, bro.
You
Drop
know what
that
I
five.
mean? You use it
Drop
as
that five, man.
leverage, and you can, and once you own a couple of properties out free and clear, you can go to the bank and get what's called a portfolio loan. Okay, you can leverage all your properties to get more money, and that's the real monopoly. You get
Wow.
what, four of those greenhouses, then you level up to the red hotel.
Okay.
That's what you could do in real life.
We can't give it all, bro. We can't give it
Can't
all.
get it all.
Hey, any further information you want, and you're gonna have to pay to be coached. You understand me?
Yeah, man.
Hey, they gonna have a whole bag, bro. We ain't gonna have no bag.
We gonna give them the whole bag. All right.
Hey,
Give y'all the
fam,
whole bag.
listen. I hope that you guys are out there. I know some of you are actually also a part of the field from who I'm seeing out there too. But for those of you who are aspiring investors, and understand investing is not just limited to real estate. Okay, it's not. You have paper assets, which is stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. So you could go into forex trading. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Forex trading. One thing about forex trading is it's not taxable. Okay, when you pull your money out, it's not like with when you have stocks, because stocks you get taxed. Okay, when you pull at the end of the year, you're gonna get taxed.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't, in trading, it doesn't fluctuate as much as like stocks. It's not like stocks. You're dealing with money, you're dealing with currency. You know what I mean? So, I just want to just drop that out there on you as well, too. In fact, I just invested in a course, okay, that I'm not boasting. I'm saying this course cost me $500,000. I don't disclose everything. I tell you what you need to know. Okay, it's not me boasting about my pocket. What I'm telling you is that's how serious I am about education. Where my queen and I, we invested, thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying, in our education, literally. Okay, we're part of the J. Morrison Academy as well.
Oh yeah, me too.
All right.
I invested in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund.
You part of the TRIF too?
Yeah, I invested in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Yep.
Yes, sir. Cooperative Economics, one of the first African-owned, hedge funds.
Yep. Real estate hedge fund. Yep.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Crowdfunding is crowdfunding, actually. Crowdfunding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So yeah, and see what I mean, family? And then you can go to the real estate fund, even if you're not a part, you can go there, you could get money to fund your deals. Jay Morrison, Morrison, Jay space Morrison, Jay Morrison Academy. Go check our brother out. He come from the same background as me and brother Oscar Mike and I. He come from the streets, now, our brother taking it to the streets in a legal way, okay, and showing people a different game called investing in real estate and wholesaling. Okay, leaving a legacy for your family. So I hope some of you are paying attention tonight and you taking notes about what we're saying, because we do this in real life. We not some. I want you to understand. There's a difference between somebody on Facebook trying to make themselves seem like some people say fake it till you make it. Nah, I mean,
Nah, that doesn't work.
Listen, family. I'm from the streets. A fake gangster get you killed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Plus, people see through that fakeness real quick.
A fake gangster would get you killed when it's time to go down and they run. You left there all by yourself. You know. So in this game right here, I don't deal with people who fake.
Yeah, me neither.
This, you know, this is the real deal here. You know, so we're trying to teach you some strategies that's going to help you to put out a blueprint for you and your family. Bro, you got anything else you want to add before we close out here? I want you to close out, man.
So, you know, again, thank you for having me. You know, for your listeners, if anyone wants to get in contact with me, you know, you can hit me up on IG at Oscar Mike Speaks. You can check out my website, OscarMikeSpeaks.com. I'm in the, process of updating it. Check me out on YouTube, Oscar Mike Speaks or Oscar Mike Bravo. You find me on YouTube. I got videos up. You know, like, subscribe, comment, do all that. You can send me an email at OscarMikeSpeaks.com. I wrote a short ebook about how to get started in investing. This is mostly for like stocks and bonds and mutual funds. But if you want it, I'll give it to you for free. Email me at OscarMikeSpeaks@gmail.com and I'll send you a free ebook. I'm all about the community and strengthening the community and helping, us, keeping our dollar with us and help strengthening us and building with us. So if you want to build, hit me up. Let's do something.
And there it is, family. So we both reach out to you. You know, I like to say ditto on what my brother said. You know, I have to scale up and write that ebook. You know, my queen and I, we still brainstorming about the content that we're putting in there. We working on it. We actually got to start back working on it again. But nevertheless, though, I have the knowledge. It may not be in digital form, but it's in my mind form. So, I definitely appreciate Brother Stu and his family reaching out too. And also Queen Tammy, who had also embraced my queen and I as her mentor. So we want to send a shout out to Tammy Buckley, who took us on. You know, she one of our first, mentors who actually was willing to come out of her pocket and invest. You know what I'm saying? So, we're excited about that. So yes, family. Also, we give coaching classes too as well. So if you want information beyond this point, okay, we're in real life 6-figure earners, working our way towards 7 figures. I don't sit up here in front. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We're 6-figure earners who working our way towards being 7-figure earners. You know, so if you want to get on this path of wealth, I'm talking about in real life, okay, and you serious, just reach out to Brother Mike and I, and we'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you for tuning in, family. Appreciate you. And Brother Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem.
Sharing with the audience, man. We appreciate your love and your dedication. But let's not leave without this, man. We got to have you touch on this, please. What touched you to mentor your son? Because your son is a part of the family business. So talk to us about that and why it's so important to involve the children in, the economic financial literacy arena.
So too many times we tell our children to go do this or go do that, or go to school, go to college, go get a good education, but we don't really show them how to get things done. I show my son every step of the business. So if I find a property that I want to invest in, I'll send it to him. I'll tell him, MJ, check the rents in this area. He knows to go on Rentometer. He'll go on Rentometer on his phone. I'll just send him the address. He'll look up the address and he can do the evaluation himself and say, hey, sir, Dad, it's going to, down payment is going to be this. This is how much the rent we think we can get. And this will be our cash on cash return. So I taught him how to do that formula. That's a skill that he's going to have for the rest of his life. He's going to be able to evaluate properties. He's going to be able to look at a property and say, is this even worth us putting our money into? There's no better way to build a business than with your family. That's how the Rockefellers do it. That's how the Kennedys do it. That's how the Trumps do it. That's how a lot of other cultures do it. We don't necessarily always do it. So I thought it was important that if I was starting a business, that I would start one and make sure that my kids were involved in it as well. and as well
Wow.
as starting them. We have a couple of different LLCs, but my second LLC is this LLC that I'm building strictly for the kids. Jones Management Solutions is strictly for them. They have their own DUNS number, they have their own business credit, and it's going to be built up. So when he turns 18, I'm just sending it straight over to him and say, hey, look, this business is already established. You already have some assets in the business. The business already has credit. Go out into the world and do great things. It's important for us to set our children up correctly, teach them about generational wealth, and not only teach them how to obtain things, but teach them how to keep it. You know, help them manage it while you're alive so that they don't squander it away. That's at least just my 2 cents.
Yes, indeed. So let me see. We had Glenda, she said great information. You know, that was being shared, and that there got Mentee in the building. Got Queen Tammy out there saying, yes, life coach / mentor beast, Amani Amari and Amar Mari. All praises be, Queen. We appreciate that shout out. And thank you for showing them that I'm not on here just faking, just talking. You know, a lot of people like to challenge things these days. So she just gave me my financial credit right there.
Nice.
She gave me my stripes, bro. She gave me my stripes. But anyway, family, listen, we thank you so much for tuning in. You know, remember, man, Synergetic Network Group LLC, we are the community liaison for entrepreneurs and consumers. We like to highlight the positive things that's going on in the community. And if you are an entrepreneur, we would love to be of assistance to you. If you're doing positive things like brother Oscar Mike, you know, we would love to bring you on, you know, so you can share your powerful story. Because I personally feel like, again, there's a lot of unsung heroes that's out there. There's a lot of people that should be known, that's not known. Just like there's a lot of millionaires we don't know about. You know, a lot of six-figure earners that we don't know about. Doesn't mean that they're not great because you don't know about them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, so anybody who have wisdom know wisdom when they hear it. So, you know, if you have a word that you want to share with the people, you know, you have a story that you feel like is going to help transform people's lives, listen, please feel free to reach out to me, my queen, and I. We would love to have you on this platform. You know, our attitude is servitude. We're here to serve the community. You know what I'm saying? So if you're willing to put your hands to work, your mind to work, you know, and your mouth to work, you know, to be able to empower the people, let's go. Let's get it. All right, family. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace, brother.